Welcome, Let Freedom Ring. Want to say happy fall to everybody out there. We're starting to see the weather change and the colors of the leaves change as well. So enjoy the season. But my guest this week, Amanda Bouchard, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, pleasure to have you on. Let's get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I live in Hooksett now. But Manchester is my hometown.
Nice, nice. Now, you got four or five high schools there.
4 Manchester West, Memorial, Central, 3 public schools, and then Trinity is like the private.
Okay, so
school.
Which one did you go to?
I went to West.
Ah, West.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that? What's their mascot? I'm trying to remember.
The West Blue Knights.
The Blue Knights.
Yep.
Okay. I do remember them. What did you play any sports when you were in school?
Yes, I played soccer, basketball, and softball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. 3-sport athlete all
4
through?
years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Now, what are 3 things that everybody should know about you?
3 things everyone should know about me. I enjoy sports, playing sports, watching sports, learning about new sports. I think everybody should have some sort of play in their life. And I love my family.
Okay. Now, when you say like you're into sports, like you follow all the pro sports in college, or?
Yeah, I mean, I follow like the Red Sox, Patriots. I hop on the bandwagon of the Celtics and the Bruins when I can.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with all of them for me personally, but I do enjoy watching them and when I get the chance.
Yeah, because I got to ask, we've had your dad on the show, Zeke.
Yeah.
He's a Bears guy.
I know.
But he's from Manchester.
I know.
So what's that like growing? So you're a Patriots fan?
Yep. And my brother is a Steelers fan.
Oh, okay.
How it all came to be, I'm not entirely sure. I think my brother picked the Steelers based on their colors, being black and yellow. But I've grown up, watching the Patriots, and my dad never tried to like push the Bears on us too much. So I think he was, he knew what he was asking of us as New England fans.
Because I always thought until I thought he had Chicago roots.
No, no, he's born and raised in Manchester. Yep.
Okay.
He went to Memorial, so yeah.
Oh man, I don't criticize too much. Like obviously, I'm a New England fan.
Yeah.
I did like the Braves because they were on TBS, so I had like a soft spot for the Braves. Obviously, I like Notre Dame. Because of the Irish thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Get,
He's never really said why. His favorite color is orange.
Okay.
I don't know if that.
So he could have been a Dolphins fan. Yeah,
it could have been. Yeah, thankfully he's not a Dolphins fan because that would be real terrible.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah.
Now that they're actually good.
I know, right? Yeah.
It took a while. They waited till Brady left. Now all the teams,
Yeah, they were like, let's wait a little bit, and then we'll be, the shining stars here.
And I got to ask this. This is the big question we ask everybody. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Sticking with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring. What does it mean to you to be an American?
To me, being an American is all about kind of opportunities, I think. I feel like a lot of reason people come to America is for that opportunity, like the American dream is whatever you want it to be, and having the chance to choose your own path and to know that there's going to be somebody else supporting you along the way, I think is cool too, because no matter what you enjoy or what lifestyle you choose, there's going to be other people, at least one other person that is choosing that path as well. And I think having those support systems available to different types of folks is really important and part of being an American.
Okay. No, good answer. We've had a lot of people sometimes bring up like our divide and stuff. Do you feel like that has changed since you've been growing up, or do you feel like the divide in the country, how I feel, has always existed?
Divide as in like political divide?
Yeah, like the political divide, but like, yeah, I would say that. Like,
yeah.
I think that's part of being an American is you're not told how to think.
Right.
Which is going to cause that.
Yeah, we have our freedom of speech, right? And that's what people always fall back on is, well, it's my right to say what I want to say, which of course it is. However, I think, being a human being, a decent human being, you have to respect people's feelings as well and how things might come across. So I think the divide has always been there, but we've obviously grown in population. We've grown in interactions. Like, we didn't have social media 10, 20 years ago, whatever it was. So now people are able to spread their message more and to feed off of each other almost, or to...
In the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, something as harmless as posting a picture that you think is funny, but somebody else doesn't. Or, there's different opportunities for people to share their opinions now, and not everybody's going to agree with your opinion. So I think the divide is just more prevalent now.
Yeah, I agree, because we did have someone say that not too long ago on the show, and I kind of thought about it, because, I mean, we've had division since, Adams and Jefferson. Like, it didn't take very long at all.
Right.
And I think people, it's more in their face now, and that's why I think they think the country is...
Right.
I just think it's always been that way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It was. I want to get to the fan questions. You had quite a few fan questions and comments. First one from Ange Bouchard, former guest of the show.
Yes.
We all love Ange. The way she wrote this is kind of interesting.
I'm interested to hear you.
Amanda, I love yous, and she spelled it U-Z-Z-Z, exclamation point. No question, okay. It did say questions, but we do take comments. Just a statement. This girl is amazing, would do anything for you. Her dad's the coolest. Her husband is all right, but their son, Bo, is the real deal.
Yeah.
Gotta talk about Bo here. He
Yeah.
is becoming kind of a star around the field.
I know. He's making more appearances now, I think, now that I've been not playing this season, so I've been bringing him around a lot more, and he definitely gets lots of looks. Everybody loves the hair, loves the flow.
Now, is that because he looks like a wrestler from back in the day, Mike Awesome? Is that what is the style of that? I know
he's got a mullet.
Mullet,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, our 3-year-old has a mullet. It wasn't something we set out to do when we had him. Like, it was just one of those things where his hair was growing a lot in the front, and he had these really great curls in the back, and the mom and me wouldn't let Robby cut them.
Okay.
So we somehow ended up with like a baby mullet, and as he's grown, it's turned into like a real mullet. Yeah. So it does take a little more maintenance than one would think, but he's known for it, and I think he loves it. So
hey, he's got
he rocks
style.
it. Yeah.
No, you gotta love
it. Definitely matches his personality too. He's very spunky, and he can be a little rascal sometimes. So I think it definitely matches his personality.
That's awesome. Yeah, I recognize, like, there was a lot of wrestlers in the 80s that had that type of hair.
Right. Yeah.
Amanda Moreno, I never know how to say Amanda. Moreno. Oh, wow.
Moreno.
Way off. Sorry, Amanda.
Blondie.
She's Blondie. Yeah, so she just wrote that.
Yeah.
Big Mets fan.
Yeah.
She said I co-sign on this.
Yeah.
So she agrees with Ange.
Yeah.
What now? We're gonna get through these, but Robby gets ribbed on quite a bit in these questions. Is that I know? Does he go to a lot of the women's games?
He doesn't go to a lot of the women's games, but I think they've all played with him like through pickup and co-ed and different tournaments and stuff. So, we've played together through that, but yeah, he does get ripped on a little bit.
There's quite a few of these in here. Kathy Burke Fulmer, she said Amanda is the best. Is Kathy also on the women's team?
Yep. Yeah, she plays with us on the Renegades.
Okay.
She's like an OG Renegade.
Okay.
She's been there since the get-go.
Yeah, she comes to pick up. I remember when we were doing that in 2020, Jen brought most of her women's team over.
Yep.
So got to know a lot of them over the years. Susan Davis says, "Oh gosh, Amanda, he is so precious," referring to Bo in the pictures.
Yes, obviously.
Now, who is Susan Davis a friend?
She is my dad's aunt.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I had to think of the Aunt Susie. Yeah.
Awesome. Now we have a first kind of almost like a blank versus blank question from Julia Callahan. Wants to know French toast or crepes? Crepes?
Crepes.
Yes.
Crepes. I think so. Julia works with me, and we've been having this ongoing breakfast food debate with a few of us at work. I would pick crepes for French toast versus crepes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't. I've had crepes before. It's been a while. What are they again?
I really wanted to quote the Ricky Bobby one when he says they're really, really thin pancakes.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what they are. It's like more of like an egg-based batter, so it's really thin, and it's just you roll up like strawberries, fruit, different stuff, and then you can do like savory crepes too. Like people do like ham and cheese crepes, stuff like that. But they're pretty good.
Now, do you get at work? Is there like, do you have a place for breakfast or
No, we just have random conversations sometimes, and this topic happened to be breakfast.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big French toast or you know, I have a problem right now. Every time I go to Dunk's to get a chocolate chip muffin.
Oh, those are good.
I can't I see them and not a big donuts guy, but got to get that muffin.
The muffin, right? Yeah.
And I eat the top first. I don't
Obviously.
know if that's a thing.
No, I think that's normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know.
If there's a right or wrong way to eat a muffin, but I would just think that's the right way.
Well, they did a Seinfeld episode where they started a muffin shop where they just sold the tops.
The tops, yeah. I feel like there used to be one of the grocery stores used to sell just like muffin tops.
Oh, wow.
And I always was like, how do they make the muffin tops? Are they cooking muffins and just cutting the tops off? Or how can you just make a muffin top? I don't know.
That's a good question. And like the top is so different. Like how are they making these?
It's just different consistency, yeah.
We have to look that up.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so now another Robby question here, Melamato. And you can be as honest as possible. How is it being married to Robby Bouchard? She wrote, poor thing.
I hope she was referring to me as the poor thing,
yes,
not Robby. I'm sure she was. So being married to Robby, I mean, he's my best friend. We've known each other for over 10 years at this point. So we met in high school. And, yeah, we've been together ever since. And so, yeah, it's like being married to your best friend that you also want to strangle sometimes.
Okay.
So there's that piece to it.
Well, I got to ask, because, I mean, so you guys were like high school sweethearts?
Yeah. So we met my senior year, his junior year. So technically I'm a cougar.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though he's only like 8 months younger than me. But yeah, so yeah, we met in high school and been together since then.
Did you have like a class together or?
We had like an off period together, like a lunch essentially. So we sat at the same table and started chatting a little bit, and yeah.
No, is Robby a charmer, or is he like, how does he ask you out? How does this even start?
So this was back in the, in the days of AIM and like instant messenger and stuff. Yep. So we started like chatting over that, and obviously like chatting during our lunch together, and came to a few of my softball games, and eventually we started hanging out together. We went to prom together, and it's been history ever since.
All right, now I gotta ask. Now I gotta ask this question, because in 8th grade I asked out my first girlfriend on AIM. Mm-hmm. I was 14, 8th grade. So Robby's like what, 17, junior?
Yeah.
Does he ask you out on AIM, or did he do it in person?
I think he asked me out on AIM. I think it
knew
was
it.
Yeah. I think it was like like, oh, we should hang out sometime, or like that sort of thing. Super casual, but yeah.
That's too funny. It tells you differences in times, though.
It does, right?
Because like when I was a kid, that was it. Now it's text messages.
Right. Yeah.
Like I probably never asked anybody out in my adulthood. Maybe I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Probably has always been text.
Yeah.
It tells you like, how did they do this in the 80s and 90s?
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Next question from Jen Spylois. Jen, I know I said that right this time. One of the best human beings I've had the privilege of being friends with.
Did she spell that right?
She did. I gotta have a talk with Jen. Some of the things she shares on Facebook, I just kind of commented on something. I was like, Jen, that's like sexist towards women, what you're saying. And I know that's not where you're going with it, but please read it again.
She's funny.
Now, how'd you meet Jen? How'd you have that?
I met Jen and Blondie at the same time. We were playing co-ed in Milford. My dad had this was when I first got into slow pitch, and we were playing in Milford in a co-ed league, and Jen and Blondie were on the team, and they were like, oh, you should come play women's. So I did, and it was great.
Yeah, that Milford League, I was in it the last year it existed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, they're not still running it, are they?
Yeah, I don't know. I played in 2020.
Okay.
And they said whoever was running it owned that property, which that would be nice to own a field.
Right.
And
Makes so much money.
I never heard anything ever again about it. So I'm assuming it's over.
So
but
folded or something, yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot with leagues.
Yeah.
But Anthony Polani the fourth asked, and I think I remember seeing him in Canaan.
Yep.
She's a stud and stepped up huge in Canaan. Can you talk about this a little bit? Because I did see you have to play. You tore your ACL?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us how you drove? What was it? 3 hours?
3.5 hours.
To watch Robby play as you've been injured.
Yep.
How does it come about that you have to go on the field?
Well, our team was not aware that we needed 4 girls on the field in the lineup, or else they forfeited.
Okay.
So, and we found this out at approximately 9 o'clock the morning we were playing, on the drive to the field. And Steph was there also in flip-flops. She was like, I have nothing. I can't play. I can't be on the field. Can you catch? And so I had said to Robby in the car, I was like, I can catch. I can throw a ball. Probably swing a bat. I just can't run. I haven't been cleared to run yet. And I was like, I would feel terrible. We drove all this way. We're staying in this house. We had Bo. If we did put all of this time and energy into it and nobody got to play any games. So I was like, we'll figure it out. At least I'll be on the field, helpful. So we came up with a plan that, somebody, whoever's pitching, playing first would cover any plays at home. Not that there were any contact plays, but just didn't want to have to stretch or move a weird way. Imagine. So it ended up being all right. I did what I could, and we ended up winning, I think, 2 games.
Okay.
So
I watched one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I saw you. I think you made contact.
I made contact every time.
I think it would have been a hit if you could run.
Yeah.
And so I have 2 follow-up questions. Steph didn't have any sneakers. She's gonna have someone with a torn ACL go on the field.
So my ACL is no longer torn. It's just,
it's
repaired, but it's not there yet. So, but yeah, it was the situation that we had at hand, and I was able to help out. So I did what I could.
And I got to ask this, who's more to blame here? Is it Savage or is it Ramel?
So it was Savage's team.
Okay, so it was Savage's team.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry,
Savage, come on, you got to know. He's been there before.
I know. And I think a lot of people had been there before, but nobody remembered that we needed 4 girls, and it was oh shoot, what do we do?
Yeah, that's...
We're all at the field, and
you're not allowed to use subs. They make you submit a roster.
No subs, and no courtesy runners. So then it was if I get on, couldn't do a courtesy runner. Some of the teams were cool with it.
Yeah.
I think there was one game we played against Straight Gas. Not that we would have done much different anyways, but they were cool and let us have a courtesy runner for me. But the other games, they wouldn't. Tournament coordinators wouldn't allow it.
See, that's just silly to me. I think people make such a big deal out of runners. Not everybody's Kevin Smith.
Right.
Or whoever else is fast out there.
Yeah. And I think for certain situations, it totally makes sense to have courtesy. If you're using, there's a difference between a courtesy runner and a pinch runner, right?
Yes.
Courtesy runner is that courtesy for the base runner, the person that got on base and they're not able to run. Makes sense, right? A pinch runner is you're just trying to get a faster person on the field, right? So, and then they were like, well, you can do a pinch runner, and we didn't have a fifth girl,
Yeah.
so it didn't really work anyways. And yeah, but it ended up being all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be too critical of Kanan, but that's like splitting hairs.
Exactly.
There's bigger, and it's a great tournament, I have a great time.
Yeah.
There's bigger issues going on at that tournament.
100%. Than me getting a courtesy runner.
Yeah, like.
And it's not like we were putting a super fast girl on, it's not like we had anybody, like, whatever, but.
Like an elite, like, well, not that they're not good. Like, you didn't have
right.
the fastest C player.
Exactly, yeah. So, I felt like there could have been some exceptions to the rule, but it's their tournament, I guess.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But did you end up getting on base, though? A couple times?
I think I did, yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely once in our last game. And then that's when it got a little feisty with, like,
oh, really? Yeah.
Ramel tried to get a courtesy runner, and we had already discussed it, that we weren't doing the courtesy runner, and then the other team was like, there's no courtesy runners.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be playing.
Was this an elimination game?
Yeah.
People
so I was
started
like, people started to get a little more into it. It was Sunday.
Yeah.
I think tensions had risen a little bit more, but I just tried to, play Switzerland. Just be like, I'm just here so they can play.
Now, how much longer until you'll be like 100%?
So it's like a 10 to 12 month recovery from the surgery. So my surgery was June 1st, so I'm about 4 months post-op and pretty much cleared for like day-to-day life stuff, but just not like sports yet. So hopefully May.
Okay. It's funny that you meant that we'd bring this up, because there was one year I went to Canada when I had my rotator cuff where I was starting to play games lefty.
Yeah.
And I show up and drive all the way to Canada. I think I'm just going to be a base coach. I was going up with my brother, and they're like, oh, hey, Pipes, you're starting at second tomorrow. I go, I'm not.
Especially not as a lefty.
They're like, no, I thought you've been playing. I was like, yeah, like catcher, lefty. I'll catch. Mm-hmm. And we had to have someone's son who was an adult male, but he doesn't play softball. And he was like, what do you mean I got to go in and play? It's like, dude, you're playing.
Yeah. I know, and I had said to Robby, I was like, you guys are lucky I wore my sneakers to the field, or else I would have been like, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
So
how does Steph not have sneakers in her? Like,
I don't know. I think she came into the whole weekend not expecting to play at all.
Yeah,
so
obviously.
Which I get it, but
you gotta know the rules.
Always prepared, I guess.
Yeah. Tad Tzedon wants to know, and I'm assuming this is your brother.
Yeah.
How is it growing up with a literal mental patient as a little brother?
He's being hard on himself.
He spent time and
we have another brother that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
No, so he's being silly, but he's my younger brother of 3 years, so it's typical brother sister relationship of I want to watch TV, no, I'm watching TV sort of thing, and but he's a good brother, and growing up with him was interesting and fun.
Okay. I guess brother and sister might be harder with the TV situation.
Yeah, definitely different interests.
Yeah, because me and my brothers all watch the same
right,
stuff.
Yeah. And I think like the 3-year difference too was harder.
He's still on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
you've moved on
right.
to
Like I'm like MTV.
Yeah.
When MTV like still like played music videos and stuff, and
I mean MTV was I started watching The Real World when I was in first grade.
Wow.
And I have to say they're pretty progressive in their thinking. But looking back, I was like, man, I was learning like serious lessons like as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
I loved MTV. I mean, I would sneak to watch it.
Yeah.
Mark Zedon, your father.
Yes.
As a father, I love watching you playing softball. How is it to play on the same team as me?
It's fun. I never thought I would end up playing softball with my dad. I mean, I grew up watching him play slow pitch when I was a kid, and then he kind of took a little break just with our own sports and stuff ramping up. And I do remember like going to like some of his tournaments, and remember it, just being a fun weekend for like the whole family. We would all do stuff like camping trips and stuff like that. Playing with him now it's fun. I mean, he's usually pitching and I'm playing second, so I'm I'm right behind him, and usually I'm having to yell a lot more because he's getting older. So it is fun to watch him, and sometimes the roles reverse where I'm like, why did you do that? Like, you should have done this. Like, I'm coaching him sometimes. But he still coaches me too, which is, fun. And I think that's the cool part about, doing anything with your parent as you get older is it's the same, but also different at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think it's super cool. Like, my dad did like my social, but it wasn't my social then session.
Oh, yeah.
He was we had 2 teams. We had like, I had a team, my brother had a team, so I played against my dad.
Oh, fun.
But it's a cool experience. I know like the Borelli's dad still plays. They get to play with him. There's a bunch of and it's cool.
Yeah,
and
it's also fun when everybody just starts calling him Dad.
Yeah,
on the bench, because I'm like, come on, Dad, and everyone else is like, yeah, Dad. So
and he's just the whole family, you, Robby, Zeke.
Yeah,
you guys are all so positive.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
fun to be around. So, were you there the night that he made the play on Robby?
No. But I heard about it.
It was, I'd never seen him try so hard.
I think there was a video.
Was there?
I think somebody was live streaming it. So I was able to watch it.
Yes, it was.
I was able to watch it. Yeah. So I was able to watch it, and I remember saying to Robby, and I was like, he got you. Like, that was a good play.
Like,
so
I remember just being like,
Don't
I've never
underestimate
seen
him.
you try to make a play like that before. What is that? And I was like, oh, that's right, it's Robby.
Right. Still got to prove himself.
Did that come up at Thanksgiving at all, or?
I don't think so. No, not too much. But I mean, it does come up every now and then. Like, hey, I can still throw you out. So watch it.
That's too funny. I do want to talk about this because we did promote the show that you are a recreational therapist.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit, what exactly is that?
So a recreation therapist, a lot of people think it's kind of like a physical therapist, but it's slightly different. So we focus on, my personal role in recreation therapy is I work for an adaptive sports program. So we work with different folks trying to get them back to or introduced to a sport using different types of equipment, like adaptive equipment. So using things like hand cycles or different types of like kayak options or archery options. So basically we're focusing on an individual's like whole health, like physical, social, emotional well-being based around recreation and leisure interest.
Okay. So it's not from an injury, or is it just kind of?
It depends. Everybody's different. So we work with people who have spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, kids on the autism spectrum. I've worked with kids with Angelman syndrome, different types of diagnoses or disabilities, and depending on each person is different in what they're looking for. So we have some people are looking to be back into a competitive sport. Some people are looking to just find equipment that they can go to the beach with their family or whatever it might be to, kind of do the quote unquote normal things that they did before their injury or that they would like to do as a family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you get involved in this profession?
So I went to UNH and I was studying health and human services. And my academic advisor recommended taking one of these classes. It was all about recreation and management. And so I took one. It was like an introduction to disability and sports. And I grew up playing sports and I love sports. And I've always wanted to work with people and kind of like that service model of the health field. So I was looking at recreation therapy, but also occupational therapy at the time, and I just fell in love with like the sports side of it, and that's kind of where I ended up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, is that a hard, like, I know some of those professions can be hard to get into after college. Like, how was that? Like,
not too bad. So because UNH has its own program, it's basically like you apply to get into the major, essentially. I mean, most majors, depends. They're all a little different. But I was able to get into the major, and so I did my undergrad in recreational therapy, and then I actually just finished my master's in recreation administration. So kind of like the next step up of like being like a general recreation director, program director, something like that.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know that could be just a challenging field. Did like going through school, did a lot of people not get through it? Like, it sounds like it's challenging.
It can be challenging. There's different like models and theories that you have to know, and there is like a national test that you have to sit for to be a certified recreation therapist. And then in New Hampshire, you also have to maintain a licensure as well, which just comes with, maintaining continuing education units and things like that. So the test can be the hardest part, I think, for some people, but I mean, you can sit for it multiple times, which is nice. So
Awesome. Now, what is the most rewarding and what's the most challenging part of this?
The most challenging part of it, I guess, is just like the money side of it, because it's a service. Like, we're providing services to people, but you can't do that without money to buy the equipment, to provide facilities, to pay your staff, things like that. And having to like charge people to do things is always like the hard, like, pulls on the heartstrings a little bit. We always joke, like, we want to just give everything for free, but you can't do that because you're still a business. So that's the most challenging piece of it. But the most rewarding piece is just meeting all the different people that I get to work with, and the staff that I work with. Everybody is so knowledgeable and experienced in their craft, and it's just getting to meet different people and see, the changes that sports and recreation can make in somebody's life.
Nice. Does every day kind of feel a little different?
Yeah, definitely a little different. Like next week I'm doing archery and cycling and helping out with some kayaking in a couple weeks. So it can be, different labor intensive.
So you're kind of on location. Like, are you going with them, like, hey, I'm going to go do this?
Yeah.
Amanda, you got to come with me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I plan some events, and then also help facilitate them as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a softball related one? Or?
No,
Okay.
there's not. So there is wheelchair softball, which is pretty interesting, but you have to have like the right location for it, because like you have to use like a hard surface sort of thing. So it's always something that I've wanted to explore a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, on softball, we've talked about it a little bit, and we all know that your family and your husband are all into that. What is your favorite part of playing?
My favorite part of playing is playing with different people. I think I learn something different from each person that I play with, and each team that I've played with, I've come to love each team. It's so fun. And I feel like I'm always learning like something different, whether it's like just keeping the ball in fair territory, not
Harder
pulling
than people
it.
think. Yeah.
With only 2 fouls, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So, from like the start of like transitioning from fast pitch to slow pitch, even just like the pace of the game it was very different for me, and I had a hard time with that. But and now like just learning different, tips and tricks, and so I think the fact that I get to still learn at this point in my softball career is exciting and fun.
Was that transition from fast pitch to slow, like, you didn't go right into slow pitch, right? Like, or did you?
So I played at fast pitch at UNH. They had like a club team that I played with, and they also do like intramurals at UNH.
Yeah.
So I had done a little bit, which doing both at the same time was even more challenging.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
But I think it was probably maybe a year after I had graduated when I started slow pitch with my dad. And yeah, it was weird.
I can imagine.
Just it's just so different. It's a lot of, you're just waiting a really long time. And it's the same, for like guys transitioning from baseball too. I'm like, I feel like that has to be even harder. Like, it's a different trajectory. But I guess the ball's still coming down, whereas in softball, the pitch is typically coming like up at you versus down. So it was hard, but we're still getting there, I guess.
Yeah, it's. I had. It's funny you said intramurals. That's how I started playing.
Yeah.
When I got to Plymouth State, I was like, I'm gonna do intramural softball. I knew that, and then I was like, I'm gonna join the rugby team.
Yeah.
And I was like, softball's gonna be easy,
Right? Yeah.
And I hadn't played baseball in a couple. I think I stopped playing when I was 17. At this point, I was like 20 when I started going to Plymouth. All I would do is hit grounders.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you hit this thing?
How do you get it in the air?
Yeah,
I don't
like,
get it. Yeah.
I swear. What I did find, though, with softball, I was like, wow, I'm a good fielder in this. Like, a really good fielder.
Yeah, that's always been my saving grace is I'm a good defender, so I'm great on defense, but, and I was pretty fast prior to my AC. Well, my knee, we'll see how I am when I get back on the field.
You'll be back.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite memories?
Some favorite memories. I mean, I remember getting my first game ball in Little League. I think I still have it actually, which is kind of funny. Robby and I both have game balls from when we were kids. Robby proposed to me on the softball field, so that's always a good memory. Telling all of our softball family, telling my dad that he was going to be a grandfather at the softball field was fun. So, there's a lot of memories for us that have happened at or around our softball family, and they might not all be prevalent at the moment, but we always remember them when they do pop up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think people don't realize why we all love it so much. Like you said, proposal at the field,
right?
All this stuff. It is that's my home away from home.
Right. Yeah. It's your second family. It's you all know each other, and the longer you play, you're playing against friends, you're playing with friends, and having the opportunities when you guys do pickup and just keeping it light and being kids again. I think that's the nostalgia of it, of baseball and softball for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Gotta ask this. What is it like playing for Jen Spylois? I have done it myself. I'd like to get your perspective on that.
Playing with / for Jen, it's fun. I mean, a lot of people have said, she has the best of intentions. I think the biggest thing for Jen is having somebody to reel her in a little bit. So that's kind of what I've been helping to do the last year or so with our women's team. She's definitely gives her all on the field, and I've never seen somebody slide so much on the field, aside from Brandy Baker. But so yeah, she definitely gives her all. You can tell she's dedicated and she knows the game, and she's been playing for a long time, so she knows all the players, and her game knowledge and the way she puts together a lineup is good, and it's fun, and the rest of us help to keep it fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I love giving Jen a hard time. But
yeah.
I love Jen. I like playing, having her on my team.
Yeah.
I have to say, she doesn't. We won the championship. She did make she didn't get enough credit for she made a very smart lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Jen does, she doesn't get a lot of credit for that, and she says that, and I do sometimes go, sometimes she deserves a little more than she gets, But we all love Jen.
Yeah.
Gotta ask this as a sports fan. How did the Patriots finish this season? We're 1-2 right now. There's glimmers of a decent team, but
there's glimmers, and then there's also shadows. But even with the Jets game, everyone was they're gonna blow out the Jets. This is gonna be terrible for the Jets, and then we almost lost.
Yeah.
And we just, we couldn't put them away, and it's, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I'm hoping for the best. I think the biggest thing they're lacking is just that team connection. You don't see the passion coming through everybody together you did with Edelman and Gronk and Brady, the three of them together. And I know that was not a long time ago, but
actually, yeah,
it's in the past, right? I mean, so I think we're missing that core group of quarterback, receivers, running backs, whatever it is, tight ends. But our defense is always really reliable, which I think is good, and kind of our saving grace. I mean, it was definitely our saving grace in the Jets game.
big time.
So, but I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I can't,
We're only 3 games in, but...
Only 3 in, I would say probably not a playoff team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that change, but I think, like, if I were to actually put money on it, I don't think they're beating Dallas.
No.
This is a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
Starting to wonder, was Patricia really that bad of an offensive coordinator?
Right.
And I get that, like, Mac is like the second best quarterback taken out of that 2021 draft.
Mm-hmm.
That whole like draft class sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. It's like, yeah, you're picking at the
Bears
end of the barrel.
haven't won in almost a year.
Yeah.
That kid that's the guy I
Yeah.
wanted. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting, and I mean, to go from having
that's a first. I didn't know
to go from having a quarterback like Tom Brady to...
What is going on? Sorry, this is usually silenced. I've never had this phone go off on air ever. We apologize. Sorry, man.
That's okay. I was just saying, it's hard. I feel like it's probably hard to go from, having a quarterback like Tom Brady's caliber for so many years and like trusting in the plays that you're giving him. And, maybe it's, how do you go back to coaching a rookie quarterback? You haven't coached a rookie quarterback in
a long time.
A decade, right? I mean, so it's got to be different, and, they're kind of rewriting the rules as a team right now.
Yeah, and you start to get the vibe that Belichick doesn't know what to do with a young quarterback at all. And it's not the Brady years. We get that.
Right.
But right now it's I'm not expecting a Super Bowl again in my lifetime. I even said that after they won the 6th one. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, we've gotten as many as we're probably gonna get in our lifetime.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I just want the team to be relevant.
Right. Yeah. Just want to watch some good games and, have some hope.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like with the Red Sox, you always have that hope of, a pennant or a series, whatever it is. But,
The Red Sox are weird, though, because they'll be in last place and then win a World Series.
And exactly, yeah.
Like,
that's how they keep you interested and invested.
That ownership group has just been ridiculous since they bought the team. In a good and bad way. Like, I never want to go back to before John Henry.
Yeah.
But, like, anyways, I do apologize for the phone. My phone is usually on Do Not Disturb. I don't know how it just went off. I must have hit something on there that I didn't realize. I do want to ask you some top 5s. Do you have a top 5 favorite movies?
I don't know if I have 5. My favorite movie is A League of Their Own.
Oh, okay.
Obviously. Girls playing baseball.
I love that. I mean, Tom Hanks is great in that.
I love it. There's no crying in baseball or softball.
Madonna's in that.
Madonna, yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell,
yeah.
Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Pretty stacked.
It's pretty stacked cast.
Yeah.
So I loved that movie growing up, and it's, anytime it's on TV, I'll watch it and probably recite the whole thing. Favorite comedy is Bridesmaids. I love Bridesmaids.
Steve Martin, right? No, that's the
this
whole phone thing has got me flustered. Bridesmaids with
Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. So yeah, love that movie. And I don't know. I have such a hard time with movies. It's like I watch them and I'm like, oh, that was a great movie, and then I forget that I watched it.
Are you and Robby into like Netflix? Do you guys do like Netflix nights?
Yeah. We do some Netflix, Hulu, Apple.
Okay.
Yep.
So many.
There's so many.
So many.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to like pick the season that you want the streaming service for. You know, it's like when Game of Thrones was a thing, it's like everybody had HBO, and then like we're like, all right, we're not watching anything else aside from that, so I think we can get rid of it. But yeah, I know it's like seasonal with the streaming services.
Sometimes it's like there's too many choices. Like
that's 100%. Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, you got to watch this or you got to watch that, and it's like, okay, well, let's focus on this one because I can't keep them all straight. Yeah. Especially when there's like actors in like same movies or like shows, I get them confused.
Oh, yeah, that will happen.
Yeah.
I gotta ask this. I'm a big music guy.
Yeah.
Favorite musicians?
Favorite musicians, this one's a little easier. I'm a big country fan.
Okay.
So I like Chris Stapleton's probably my favorite. And right now I've been really into the Marcus King Band, which is like country blues-ish mix. And what else have I been listening to? I've been listening to some Zach Bryan recently. And Zach Brown Band, another one of my favorites.
I've seen them in Fenway.
Yep. I saw them at Guilford, whatever it's called.
I do love that venue.
Yeah, it's a great venue. So we saw them there. That was a great concert. And I also really like Kenny Chesney, but I'm also really into like 90s, early 2000s, like hip hop and pop.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in like the boy band era, so it always, hits a spot.
Were you excited to see NSYNC? They were they made the Video Music Awards like actually I guess like newsworthy.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they kind of overshadowed 98 Degrees, I guess, and they were all upset about it.
Was 98 Degrees there?
Well, I guess 98 Degrees is like doing a reunion and they're like, great.
They're not
they're
on
like,
the level.
oh, cool. And then NSYNC comes back together and they're like, well, no one cares about us anymore. So they were never at the same level. I mean, they had a few like hits, but NSYNC and Backstreet Boys are always going to be the number ones.
See, here's the thing. NSYNC, Justin Timberlake goes on to probably be in the top 5 pop stars of our generation. Backstreet Boys, no one really did much out of there.
No.
I will give Nick Lachey, because again, I don't know any of the other members of 98 Degrees.
No.
But Nick
Drew
Lachey. Okay, his brother. I didn't know his name was Drew. Nick Lachey was on like the Hidden Dancer, whatever it is recently.
Right. Yep.
But he's always kind of stayed in the public eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's married Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, and then now he's what's her name?
Some TV star. I thought.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah.
I just thought it was funny when they punked him Did they punk him? They kept calling him Nick Lackey. I can't remember what that was on, but he got pretty mad.
Upset.
Favorite TV shows?
TV shows. The Office.
Yes, love that.
Sex and the City.
My sister-in-law's favorite.
You love it, right? Yeah.
I don't hate it, actually, the times that I've seen it. Sarah Jessica Parker's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, she's great. The Office, Sex and the City. I love Friends. Also loved Parks and Rec. And, there was another one. I can't think of it right now. But those are my, main...
Seinfeld fan? Not in your top 5?
I'm not a big... I don't really like Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not everybody's thing. I will say, watching it as an adult is so much more funnier because I can relate to it.
Yeah. I don't know why. I can't get into it. Like, some of the episodes I'll get into. I mean, Kramer's hilarious. Yeah. He's, the one that I usually am laughing at. The rest of it, I'm like, all right, I get it. It's funny, but not my cup of tea.
Not your thing. No, that's all right. I remember when Park and Rec did come out, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a rip-off of The Office.
Yeah, same.
And then it turned out to be great.
It was great, yeah. Similar, but, I mean, it's got, that Office kind of, documentary type feel to it, but the plots and the storylines were all still different and
that was, the big piece of it was I was like, oh, they're just ripping it off.
Right.
And I knew they had a good cast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of them went on to be bigger stars now. I can't even think of the guy who's in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's a big star now.
Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm. He's a big star.
Yep.
And I think that's what started.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I want to get into one of my favorite segments on the show, which is blank versus blank.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 things. You got to pick one and tell me why.
Yep.
First one, better romance.
Okay.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, which is the hit one.
Yeah.
Or this is a football one again, or Tony Romo, and again, Jessica Simpson's coming up. When Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson. Which one was more intriguing? Or one's current.
One's current, right? Yeah. I guess I would have to go with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I wasn't too into the Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson saga, but yeah, I think their fame level is probably higher than Tony Romo and Travis Kelce.
I think that's fair.
You're right. I mean, I think I saw a video of her like leaving his suite in a popcorn machine, just so like she wasn't seen.
Taylor Swift is the biggest pop star.
She is 100%. I would argue that she's the most famous person in the world.
She's the Michael Jackson now that he was in the 80s.
She's cross-generational at this point. So, I mean, I remember listening to her when she first came out as a country artist and was like singing about Tim McGraw. So, yeah, I think if they are a real couple and they're going for farther than, whatever this is, they just have both have, and Travis Kelce is popular.
He's like
himself, right?
Like
he's for his plays, his skills, and stuff like that. But also, like, he's attractive.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of the more attractive NFL players, and I think that's why most, wives, girlfriends, whatever it might be, women watching football, are familiar with him, and they also are familiar with Taylor Swift, so they're gonna follow it.
His jersey sales skyrocketed this last week.
I bet.
I can't imagine that. If it is fake, it just would be weird for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Who just had this huge tour.
Huge, yeah.
Maybe she wants to hang out at the Chiefs games. I don't know, but I'd have to imagine that she's really dating the guy if she's going to go to the
She's going to spend her time, at a not Eagles game.
Yeah, because everybody thinks she's from Nashville. It's like, no, Taylor Swift had money before she was famous, and her family moved her there to become a country star. Mm-hmm. Hasn't had the hardest life.
No.
It's good to be T Swift.
Yeah, right.
Who has the biggest chance of the undefeated teams to win the Super Bowl? 49ers, Eagles, or Dolphins?
Ooh. 49ers.
Just 3-0.
Eagles and Dolphins. I think I would go Dolphins.
Okay.
I feel like the games that they've put up recently have been high scoring and
70 points?
Yeah, I mean, that's when I saw that, I was like, that's not real.
Like the towel should have been thrown in.
Yeah, there should be a mercy rule, I feel like.
Oh my God. I wish I got to see that, but
I know.
hate the Dolphins, so it's not like I guess I don't hate the Dolphins, but
I got lucky. The person I was playing in fantasy had one of their running backs or receivers on his bench, and he got 41 points.
Oh my God.
But he was on his bench, so I still won.
Who was it? Who do you know?
Akin, or I don't know. Yeah, something with an A, but yeah, I was like, dodged a bullet on that one.
Picked the wrong day not to play him.
Yeah, the wrong day, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I'll go Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather play women's or co-ed?
Oh. There's benefits to both. Honestly, there might be some controversy with this, but I would go women's. Honestly, I think the men complain a little too much.
Oh, okay.
I have seen many interactions between men at softball games, like some physical, some aggressive. I've never seen that at a women's game.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen both. I can't say I haven't been to too many women's games, but I have seen both. What do we say? Genders or sex in softball, one or the other. I've seen both do stupid things.
Yeah.
I've seen women though fighting, and I'm not going to use names, over a guy at the field and ready to pummel each other, and I was like, "Yeah, you guys really have to do this here and now? Like, can we just play this game?"
Yeah, that's for me, like, where...
That's like high school.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I feel like co-ed, for a lot of guys, that's their only time that they're playing is in co-ed. So they do get into it, which I get it. Like, if you're playing softball,
we won't use his name. I know who you're referring to. Because we just played against him. We talked about when Robby was on. I don't know if he's a bad guy, but he just stopped, dude.
Yeah.
You know.
So I feel like that's where you lose, like, the respect of the game. Is like, we're just here to play.
Yeah.
Nobody's this isn't the world's tournament. This isn't,
Even the world.
you know,
yeah.
we all had our, like you said, we all had our, times back in the day when we were, our stars of the sports or whatever it is. Like, this is your chance to just get out and play, be with your friends, be with that second family, create those memories, those like core memories around, a sport and something that you enjoy doing, and, that can help keep you sane. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when I feel like there's more animosity sometimes during the co-ed games, just because people get into it a little bit more. And not to say that the women's games don't get competitive and, there aren't, words exchanged, but I mean, most of the time it's with umpires, but
yeah,
that's another story.
Yeah, I mean, I've been almost, been playing for 18 years. I've seen just stupid, I don't want to make it sound like it happens a lot, because I don't feel like it does, but I've seen a lot of stupid things, and a lot of people that, obviously more people I would hang out with outside of softball than not, but there are the ones I'm like, I don't think we'd ever,
right. And I see it, I mean, I play soccer recreationally too, so I see it there too. So it's not just softball, and it's not, just certain people. It's
human condition.
Human condition, absolutely, yeah.
I got to ask this last one here. This is going to be a tough one. Who would you rather have at third base? Your husband, Robby, or your dad, Zeke?
Oh, no, you can't do that to me.
You're making a lineup. They both want to play there. Who's going?
Oh, no.
Keep in mind, your dad threw him out.
I would... I know. I would split the time and have them each play.
Oh, democratic answer. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I feel like they would both be like, nah, the other one can play.
Yeah.
That would be the best part of it. Is both of them would be like, no, I'll just hit.
Yeah, No, I can see that. Yes, that as well. But Amanda, I really appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a blast.
It was fun.
Everybody out there, I apologize for the phone going off. My phone is always on Do Not Disturb. I do not have any idea how that just happened. So
there's a ghost.
Just
in the
know
building.
that I'm annoyed by that. Probably my own fault. But everybody out there, have a great week. Keep your heads up. And until next time, let freedom ring. I don't know how the hell.